Welcome to Sounds of Sud. I'm your host, Jasmine. This podcast is for all the music lovers and anyone that wants to learn more about working in the music industry. Bringing you interesting insights and wild stories from DJs to festival organisers, we talk to all of the people behind the scenes that make the magic happen. So make sure to hit subscribe and I'll see you on the dance floor. Cool. Okay, welcome Pat to Sounds of Sud, the podcast. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Are you sure? Bit dusty from a very exciting big weekend.
Well, it's been fun. It's been a pretty dusty 3 weeks.
3 weeks, is that how long you're away for?
Yeah, in Japan.
Wow. So the punchline, I can't wait to hear about the rest of it. I didn't realise you were there for so long.
Yeah.
So Pat was over doing his thing at Snow Machine
in
Japan. How was it?
In Hakuba. It was really, really good. It was 4 days of music and snowboarding and skiing and adventures up on the mountain in Hakuba, which is about 3 hours north of Tokyo.
Okay, I've never been to Japan. Have you been to Snow Machine before?
Yeah, we last time we did it there was March 2020, right before the pandemic happened. So we got back into Australia and 2 days later the whole country shut down.
Now, is that the same one that you did in New Zealand last year?
Yeah, so we've done 4 Snow Machines so far, 2 in Queenstown and 2 in Hakuba, Japan.
Is it always one or the other, or do they usually do both every year?
February is Japan, September is Queenstown, New Zealand.
Makes sense. We
just skipped a few there during the pandemic.
Okay, and how long was the brand established before the pandemic?
It happened right as the pandemic, the first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
So one big bang and then pandemic.
And then Queenstown, Japan, 2 Queenstowns and then Japan.
Jesus, so hard for so many people in so many different ways, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it meant when it came back, everyone was ready for it again.
Cool. So I haven't done much of an introduction. So Pat, we're just having a bit of a laugh here when we were getting this thing set up because Pat is usually on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. It's so bright. I'm not used to the light shining in my eyes. I'm usually the one doing the shine.
Blinding people. Yeah. So Pat is one of the most, I would consider, well-known nightlife photographers around the Sydney scene, and not limited to just that. We can go into that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yourself, Capture Charles, you're the kind of 2 notable ones for me. Not to say that there's not many more talented people, but you've definitely got a strong presence in the nightlife space, which is obviously why this is relevant to coming over here and joining me on my podcast. So thank you very much for coming over, especially straight off a plane after a big weekend.
At least I'm not that jet lagged, Japan is only 2 hours difference. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Still a long day travelling.
Well, it's 3 days of partying every single day, and today has been my first day off, so I'm like, where am I?
That's funny, because I usually see you, serious in doing your thing.
When I say partying, I mean like snowboarding all day and then like catching up and meeting people at night and being very socially active.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to anyone all today, so I'm feeling really weird.
Okay. Well, hopefully you don't feel so weird by the end of it. And we've had a great chat. So where to begin? So I obviously touched on it. You're a nightlife photographer. You've got some relationships with some very well-known people. I can't wait to hear about if that's personal, become professional, or if it's professional led to personal. Some notable ones that I'm like, wow, Pat just knows everyone is obviously Hayden James, great friend of yours. Peking Duck is another people I see you rocking around with. Where do those 2 particular relationships stem from?
Well, Hayden James and we've known each other for about 16 years. We used to work in a nightclub together called Candy's Apartment in King's Cross back in 2007. This is back when King's Cross was thriving. You'd have thousands and thousands of people in there every single night. It was just mayhem. It was proper red light districts of Sydney.
What years was this?
2006 and 2007 is when I started coming into the scene, but King's Cross has been pumping.
As a punter or as a photographer?
As a punter initially.
Okay.
And then I figured out I'd really liked taking photos in clubs, so I used to just take my camera, a little point and shoot, which are now trendy again, which is ironic.
So funny. I've got so many in my room there. We've got a friend of mine, I took loads of disposable cameras away for my 30th. And I said, I can't wait to get home and get them developed. He goes, just leave them, set and forget. And I was like, do you know what? That's a really good idea. And now I think I've got about 7 or 8 of them in there. I'm going to leave them.
Take your batteries out. To everyone, if you have a camera, take your batteries out. That's the first thing that will destroy your camera.
But disposable?
Disposable should be fine. But if you've got like a little digital point and shoot, just take your batteries out. Because they leak after a few years. And that acid will just tear through.
And it's given a new recording. I assume it knew what it was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So
Yeah.
everyone, take your batteries out.
Yes,
Good tip.
batteries out of your cameras. Disposables will last forever. Although disposables do have batteries in them, but there's a little latch on the bottom. You should be able to pop them out.
Okay, well maybe when we finish, we'll have a quick look and see.
But yes, anyway, how I know Hayden. We were working in the same club, it was Kenny's apartment, and he was the resident DJ playing under the name Hey Now DJs. Him and a guy called Andrew Rose. And I ended up becoming the club photographer there. I took over from a friend, and he's like, "Can you shoot there every Friday, Saturday night?" I'm like, "Yeah, no worries." $50 a night I used to get paid to take photos, which is like insane for me. I used to go out and bring money home. Like, it's so rare back in the day.
I know your fees are a hell of a lot higher than that now, so you definitely picked the right move back then.
I just loved it, you know. Like I wasn't really there to be earning money. I just had such a huge passion for it and really enjoyed it. So yeah, $50 a night there, unlimited drinks, and Hayden was DJing there most nights, and we became really good friends
from there on out.
Yeah.
And so wind it back one step from there. That's obviously how you know Hayden, which is really cool, and it's so special when you have friendships as long as lasting as that. Where did, other than just going out and liking the photography, did you just get an opportunity and you went for it, or did you do photography at school, studies type things? No,
never studied it. I used to just go
Wow.
out. I used to really enjoy going and watching music and listening to music. So I remember going to a club called Sounds on Sunday in North Sydney, and I was waiting. There was a massive line to get in. It was the Sunday party that everyone had to be there. You know, it's just the spot. And I was waiting in line, probably half an hour wait, and I saw a photographer just burn past me and just go straight into the club. And the door girl's like, "Yep, no worries, go through." I'm like, "Oh, I should bring my camera, like borrow my brother's camera," because he was like an amateur photographer, not very good at all, but you know, at least he had the camera. I'll just bring the camera in and I'll blag it. I'll just be like, "Hey, I'm taking photos this week." And there was a publication back in the day called inthemix.com.au, which is sort of, it used to take they'd send photographers to nightclubs and document the evening and then post it up on their forums. This is before MySpace and Facebook. And so
and TikTok and Instagram.
So long ago. And then so I just took the camera in the following week, and I was so nervous. I'm like charging through, just like, "Act confident, Pat, act confident." And I just went up to the girl. I'm like, "Hey, I'm taking photos for In the Mix. My name's Pat Stevenson." And I could see her just going through the guest list. Like, "You're not on the guest list. Are you sure you're meant to be here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I spoke to Grant and Adam at In the Mix, and they said I definitely," like, I'm making up names.
I just said I was a late fill-in, the usual guy was sick, you know, any bullshit.
But anyway, I managed to convince her. She's like, "Look, no worries, here's 3 drink cards, go have a good night." I was like, "Oh my God," she gave me drink cards.
Not only is she letting me in, skipping the queue, she's also giving me drink cards.
So this is like a light bulb moment for me. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to do this every night that I go out, and I'm going to save so much money, and I'm going to have free drinks." So I kept on doing it week after week. I'd just rock up with a camera, and they're like, "Oh, you're still not on the guest list." I'm like, but she's like, "I see you here every week, so you're fine, just come in." And they ended up just...
So you kept trying it in the same club?
Yeah, but they'd end up just knowing my name, because I was always very, very friendly with them. You know, if you can get them on your side, you can get away with murder. So I just kept on becoming really friendly with and this is not just this club, these are all the clubs in King's Cross. I'm just rocking up with my camera. Then most of the places end up knowing me. And then, like...
did you actually take pictures when you were in there?
Yeah, I was like fully shooting it like I saw everyone else was, but with the shittiest camera. Like,
literally, like, just hustling your way in. I fucking love it. That's so funny.
And then one of the clubs was like, "Hey, Pat, we see you every week. We'd love to see your photos." Or I think I ended up putting them up on MySpace. And they're like, "We'd really like those shots. Can you come back next week and we'll pay you like $20 and give you some drinks?" I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And then it sort of went up a bit like that. They go, "Oh, we'll give you $50. And then I ended up just shooting like 4 or 5 clubs in a night, and then getting to know all the people and sending them directly to the guys.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I just keep on doing that.
How funny is that? So, like, I'm so glad I asked you to come around here. Yeah. I figured there would be a good story, but that's just hilarious. Like, literally
it's
just...
proper fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Like, because I was so keen for it, I just kept on coming every single week, and I really loved it. And it was about networking and building relationships, super important.
So this is how you know everyone.
Yeah. I'm always out and I'm always speaking to people. You know, if you can be the best photographer in the world, but if you're a dick or you're quiet, you're not going to get anywhere, because you really need to be.
You're definitely a nice balance between the two. You obviously, I definitely don't see you as a huge party animal, but you've got you can be at the party and you wouldn't know that you're not like partying kind of thing. You kind of you fit in.
Yeah, well, when I was younger, I used to really rage with my camera. I think there was a moment around 2010 where I took MDMA and had my camera, and by this stage I'd upgraded to a much better camera, and it was like $4,000 worth of camera equipment, and
Oh, no.
I was very high, and I went to the bathroom, I put the camera like on the side of the portaloo. And I walked down, I'm like, oh, I feel so free. I feel so good and light.
You left
amazing. And walking around the club. And like 40 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, where's my camera? Run back to the portaloo, it's gone. I've lost like $4,000 worth of equipment. I'm like, never take drugs while you're shooting ever again. Like, expensive lesson.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was 14 years ago.
And never mind all the pictures that were on it from the night, or was it the start of the night?
Well, look, I'd never really taken MDMA and taken photos, and I'm going to say the photos weren't that great.
But is it one of those? It's so funny, not to go too deep into it, but our friend Ryan, oh my God, it's so funny. He's actually about to come over here because we're all going to pitch tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And he's like so bad at taking pictures. They're almost brilliant.
Yeah.
He's got pictures of us from the boiler room, and they are absolutely terrible. But there's a series of 4 of them. Me and another friend are up on 2 of the boys' shoulders, and then our friend Harrison is on his brother Nick's shoulders, I think. And the pictures, like, there's not one where all 4 of us are even in the picture looking, but they kind of make quite a beautiful series, even together. I have to show you. They're so funny.
It's the imperfect moments that are real that people can connect with. So I can imagine that's where they come.
So that was the last time you got high and took pictures.
Yeah. Look, there's been slip ups here and there, but it's to that extent where I'm gurning and like munted off my head. I don't do that.
Losing equipment. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So how many cameras do you have?
Right now, I've probably got like 6 cameras.
Wow.
7, maybe. Not all of them work perfectly, but yeah, about 6 working cameras.
And with the obviously advancement of general population's technology at the phones, obviously that's why we're recording this now. iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Yeah.
How does that sit with you as a professional photographer and all this money and time you invest into your craft to know that with the right editing and stuff, like definitely, I'm not saying ever that I could take as good a picture as you, definitely not.
Yeah.
But if you took a picture on my phone, I believe that you could probably make it look as good as one of your professional ones with the right circumstances. How does that make you feel?
Well, the technology is definitely getting much better, and everyone's got a fantastic camera in their pockets these days. But just because it's so widely available and easy to get your hands on doesn't mean everyone knows how to take a good photo. Doesn't mean everyone knows how to interact with the subject to get the best out of them. And doesn't necessarily know like composition and general photography rules to make an image tell a story.
So you definitely don't see it as like a threat or anything like that?
No. AI is probably spooking me more than anything, but I think I'll be safe for about 10 years for that stuff.
And who knows, you could be able to earn your retirement fund by that point.
Yeah.
Not that you're old, God.
It's the next generation which I feel is going to have a real problem.
Yeah, some problems. Yeah. And I was going to say, is like, just because I've got the fancy phone, all the gear and no idea, it's like you say, you don't know what you're there.
It's so good. There's a saying, the best camera that you have on you is the one in your pocket. So it doesn't matter how high, like, beautiful quality the camera can take. It's like, if you can get the moment, you've got the moment.
Wow. So did you do you always have your camera with you?
No, but I've got my phone, so that doesn't matter. Like, when I was in Japan, I was just like snapping some really cool moments just on my phone, and if you run that through Lightroom and I straighten it all up and make it look pretty, and I can remove certain elements using AI or clever removal tools and clean it up, it looks pretty close to being a great camera.
Wow. Okay. So is there sometimes your shots on your socials and stuff that we wouldn't know that were actually taken on a phone?
Yeah, they could. They definitely.
They sneak in there, do they?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful looking thing, but if it's telling a story, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I mean, we were just chatting in the kitchen before. Obviously, you've got a relationship with the guys behind Lost at Finely Tuned, and you shoot a lot. How many times have you shot Lost Paradise?
I've shot it twice for them, but I've been there 4 or 5 times with different artists.
Okay, so you've gone with an artist to take, and when you're there, are you there just to take pictures of that artist and their set and their vibe?
Yeah, so
cool.
I've been up there with Peking Duck, I believe, and I've been there with Hayden James, and then Furnace and the Fundamentals. So yeah,
I saw them at Hamilton Island.
They are like, they take the piss and they're a bit silly, but they're fantastic. I love them.
And I just completely forgot what I was going to say. Have you ever been on tour with an artist for a whole tour?
Yeah, I've done Peking Duck multiple times around Australia and America.
Wow, how long were you on tour for?
It's only usually like a block of like a month.
Okay.
Maybe at max.
Because that's all they tour for, or that's
Yeah.
because all you're needed for?
No, that's like Australian tours tend to last 30 days unless they're crushing it and they're doing a full regional tour. They can go for maybe 2 months.
Okay.
I think Illy recently did a big regional tour for 2 months.
And you've only taught, and you've only been to America in that capacity once, and that was with Peking Duck?
Yes. According to their visa panel, I've never worked in America, okay? I was there touring as a
super fan,
yes,
who just happens to be really good behind the camera.
I've never worked in America.
We won't. We will not be making this little bit into a reel. Don't worry. Most views, no, not that I'm getting loads of views anyway, but trying. Okay, cool. So we've started your career 16 years ago. We can definitely, obviously, your Instagram and everything and your following speaks for itself of where you're at now and the work. I mean, not that the following is everything. I mean, if you're getting booked as a professional photographer, that's the main thing. But what's happened in this gap? What's like? How did you go from the guy sneaking himself into clubs?
It's been consistent and just rocking up all the time and not being a dick and delivering. I think that's the main thing that just keeps you going and keeps you relevant to clients in clients' eyes. Like, I prefer to work with someone who is not the best photographer in the world, but if they're great to get along with, fun, and deliver, then that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started off in the crooks, nooks and crannies of King's Cross. Then how long were you in that scene for? When did you first...
Probably started there 2007 and wrapped up around 2011, not like as a final stop, but that's when King's Cross started shutting down with the lockout laws. So work really dried up around that era. A lot of the clubs weren't allowing patrons in past 1:30 a.m.
Lockout laws,
yeah,
for sure.
And you're only allowed to like have one standard drink and no shots, and the whole of Sydney just got pretty much raped by the laws. Yeah.
So what did you do?
That's when I started getting into a bit more event-based stuff, working with different brands, doing more portraits and stuff with different bands and DJs.
But still in the nighttime space, because I know you do other stuff as well. Obviously, it's how we know each other. But the main focus has always been the music world. Yeah, cool.
And then through music, like Spotify would hit me up and go, "Hey, we want to do some corporate shots of their team."
Oh, not for covers, but for...
No, just for their corporate team. So I'd go into their office and they all just needed fresh headshots. And then through that, there could be someone else who sort of saw my photos.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Word of mouth. Where's the coolest place you've been taken, or the coolest brand, or what's the... if you can say, obviously.
Yeah, I think... wow, jeez. I mean, Japan, 2020, shooting Zoo for a circle set was a highlight. On a deck that overlooked all the mountains.
Wow.
If you look up on YouTube, Zoo, Z-H-U, circle, C-E-R-C-L-E, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is such a beautiful moment. That was in Iwataki Mountain in Hakuba.
So you went there for Snow Machine?
Yeah, I was there. I was shooting for Snow Machine, and the Zoo circle set was like an add-on for the festival, but it was completely separate.
Okay.
And then the circle team needed a photographer, and because I was there, they brought me on board.
Wow, right place, right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. It's cool that you've been like iconic moments like that.
Yeah.
On that topic, have you had any desire to ever go into videography?
No.
No?
There is a lot of work out there for videography, but I think it's best for me to focus on stills. There are a lot of people out there who do video and stills, but I feel like you're diluting your skill set, and also there's a huge investment that you need to spend on video gear, stabilizers, different lenses. It's microphone equipment.
Does it not interest you because it just doesn't interest you, or you don't think that you'd be good at the full delivery of it? Like, 'cause obviously, a bit like this podcast is all very well to sit here and talk shit with someone for an hour. The editing and everything is really hard, and I was like, I've been really struggling with it, to be honest.
It would take too much of my energy.
Yeah,
it would take away from my still stuff. And I am quite busy and successful with just the stills work. So there's no...
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And like, I DJ as well on the side, but does that mean I need to produce music? Maybe. I mean, I could, but I don't have the burning desire to do it. You've got to really want to do something. If that's going to be what your job is for the rest of forever, you really want to do it. And if I'm half-assing it, there's no point. Also, if I'm going to take someone's job, videography job, by going, okay, I can do stills and videos. It's like it's taking a job away from a friend of mine.
When you've already got a job that suits you so well. Yeah.
I prefer to bring on someone whose full-time job is a videographer.
And you can partner together.
Yeah, and they'll do a kick-ass job for videos, and I'll do a kick-ass job with stills. Unfortunately, some
dream
people...
team.
Yeah, they don't have a budget for it sometimes, the client, but you get what you pay for, and if you're paying for someone to shoot stills and do video at the same time, then you're going to get a half-assed product, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the topic of working with other people, I don't know if you saw it through, but I remember... probably a long time ago now, I saw something on your socials about you were looking for a bit of an offsider or like a bit someone to mentor. Has that eventuated?
Yeah. I've always wanted to sort of give back a little bit, because when I first got into photography, I was working with this crew called Hobo, and it was basically just a bunch of like bearded looking hobo dudes who used to go to nightclubs and take club photography. They brought me under their wing.
Photography?
Yeah. Music, nightclub photography. And that's how I kind of got one of my first big cameras. They just lent me one of them.
Wow.
They're an important part of how I became who I was. So they used to do mentor nights. We'd just go and buy some pizzas, and I'd sit down with a guy called Wes Nell and a guy called Alex Singh. And they were kind of like, definitely my mentors, but they would teach me. I'd just ask them questions. I'm like, how do you make the background blurry in photos? Which is so
just out of the goodness of their heart kind of thing?
Well, no, because we're working together at that stage. So we're a collective. But they wanted to upskill all the juniors who are under them. So they do these nights where we could sort of show off our photos and we could give feedback. They give feedback, and like they tear photos apart. Like why did you take that photo? Why did you include it in your final delivery? What sort of story are you trying to tell with that photo?
Wow.
There's a guy called Andy Amos as well, who was really good about the whole concept of photography. Like you've got to tell a story. It's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You can't just like give
in
random
one picture.
Photos. Well, no, like say if I was giving a gallery up from my night out, like I'd want to be telling a story with that. So this is back in the MySpace days where you'd submit like 100 photos.
Mm-hmm.
Or 30 photos. So it's like you want to sort of show photos of you getting ready in the night, and then the train or the bus on the way in, and really create a narrative of what you're trying to deliver. These days, you can do it with 10 photos in Instagram, but it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah. So, so what was the question that you asked? It was...
I don't remember.
Yeah. But no, it's the mentoring.
Yeah.
So that was really important for me, being mentored by people I looked up to. So I figured, like, if I've been doing this for 15 years, I want to give something back. So I'm trying to reach out to junior photographers, because it's very hard to get into. A lot of people want to be photographers. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for those people who've got that burning desire, that burning fire, and they're really into it.
And that's most of it, right?
Yeah.
It's the passion for it. I mean... anyone can go to school and do this and do that, but like if you really love it, and you can tell the enthusiasm, you can tell the people that are in it, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the ones that are on the fence.
Yeah.
So how many people are you kind of mentoring at the moment?
I've created a spreadsheet, and there's probably like 30 people on there.
How can you help all of those people?
Well, no, it's just sort of like a list that I can pull from. So say if like I want to do music stuff or some food stuff or some portrait stuff.
And you said you want to come along.
Yeah. So it's different. Like I can put it out to 5 people that are in that sort of subcategory.
Ah, okay.
And then whoever's available from that, I can bring them along to a job. And I've done a fair bit of stuff like food photography. If there's anyone who's interested in that, they've come to me and helped set up the lighting and the stands. And I'm like, just be a sponge, see what I'm doing, and try to don't wait for me to ask to do something. Try to preempt. If you see me like I'm walking across to a sandbag or something, you need to be like, okay, got to sort of...
this is what we're doing next.
Yeah, because when I was assisting, that was taught to me. You're like, you've got to sort of think ahead of what the photographer wants and be ready for it. And don't be on your fucking phone. So I've had so many people I've brought along, and they're just on their phone the whole time, like, you're not coming back again.
Wow, so they've lost their chance.
Yeah, like, why are you here?
If you ever get the chance to be mentored by Pat Stevenson, do not go on your phone. Are you in a position, if anyone happens to be listening to this that's in that realm, you're still invite open?
Absolutely. Hit me up at Pat Stevenson on Instagram if you're interested. But I'm looking for people who really want to do it, not just a passing interest. Yeah. I don't have time, because if you're passing interest, you don't give a shit. You do it for 3 months and then you're done.
Yeah, you need people who are in it for the long run.
It's a waste of time otherwise.
The next you. And I mean, you're such a it would be an honour for someone young and not naive, young and inexperienced to be shadowing you, because you work at some really fucking cool events.
Yeah, it's definitely a good step up if you can. not tooting my own horn, but
to toot away. Someone said to me before, you have to be your own cheerleader sometimes because no one else is going to do it for you, you know. And you definitely deserve it. So we've obviously mentioned Snow Machine, Lost Paradise. They're just ones because obviously you just got back from Snow Machine, and I've obviously seen you at Lost Paradise and know that you're there. What other festivals have you done?
Well, Splendor's, I don't know when this is coming out, but Splendor's about to announce. So I've worked with them for 16 years in a row.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How did you get the first one?
Inthemix.com.au, that website I was telling you about before, the music review website.
Oh, so you did actually end up working for them?
Well, yeah, they ended up seeing my photos, and I think they caught wind that I was dropping their name. They're like, who the fuck is this Pat Stevenson guy?
Who says he works for us?
Yeah.
It's like, if you're going to say you work for us and you're doing a good job, you may as well work for us.
Well, I ended up doing a lot of photo work for them. Yeah, I hit them and became friends with a lot of the guys.
Are they still around?
No, they're long gone. It's called Junkie now.
Okay.
Yeah, Junkie.com.
Do you have any relationship with that brand?
Not so much. I think it got sold to like Channel 9 or something.
But, okay.
All the original crew have moved on, but I still do a lot of work with the original people.
Wow.
And yeah, so I used to just get in their ears and they'd be like, Pat, we've got Splendor coming up. Do you want to shoot it? It's not paid. But
and how big was Splendor back then? 16 years ago is a long time. It's always been big?
Like 30K people would go.
So do you know how long Splendor's been around for?
20 years, I think. Okay. Yeah.
So if you got into it right at the peak of its brand identity, and you've been there ever since. Yeah. That's really cool.
It was at Belongil Fields in Byron when I first started shooting it. Mm-hmm. And I used to just drive all the way up in my Nissan Pulsar.
And do it for free?
Yeah. Well, the pass was payment for me. Like, that's an expensive ticket.
And what was the obligation? How many photos?
It was quite a lot. I remember like trying to edit the photos overnight for them because they wanted a quick turnaround on my old PC laptop, and it was so slow. But I'd end up delivering them like 300 photos per day.
Wow.
But I got in the thick of it. That was early days as well. This is 2007. I remember sniffing ketamine. I probably shouldn't be admitting this, but
confessions. I like it. I mean, I didn't give you the pep talk that I've given everyone else. I mean, I've tried to keep it PG, but if it's a good story, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
We all do silly shit when we're younger, you know. So I am not ashamed to say that I've got up to some pretty raucous things.
I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, the chances are you probably also have too. So yeah.
I remember doing K and walking around with my camera and just because I just felt so drunk off the ketamine, just like bumping into people and taking their portrait and just like stuff that I would never have done sober because I was, the inhibitions are gone once you've had some drugs or alcohol or anything. But I remember like the photos were really cool and like engaging, and I was doing some weird crap. But that's like it's experimentation. It was me going out there trying to get outside my comfort zone, mm-hmm. And I loved it so much that they loved the photo so much that they welcomed me back the year after.
And the year after, and the year after.
And by then, like 3-4 years in a row, I'm starting to make friends with a lot of the artists who are performing, and they're like, Pat, we will fly you up to come and shoot Splendor.
And we'll pay you.
Yeah, like accommodation, flights, my day rate, like.
Wow.
And proper looked after. Like I've been up there with Peking Up, with Hayden James, with DMAs, with Alice in Wonderland. And then the festival saw my photos, and then I've been for the past few years. I've worked for the festival as a photographer.
Oh, so at first you didn't. You went there for the ticket, and then you got recognised by brands, and now you actually work for the festival.
Yeah, went through publication, then artists, now with the official festival, and that's how it's worked with a lot of different festivals.
And I obviously know that at Lost Paradise, just from my own personal presence of being there and seeing other photographers, I think when I bumped into you there, you said there was about 5 of you. How many photographers would you expect to see at Splendor in the Grass?
Oh, there's probably about 30.
30?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've got a huge tent set up for all the media crew.
Wow.
But it's mainly all the different publications, and they're all around Australia. You'll have like someone from Rolling Stone, and even the brands have their own photographers. So like all the sponsors over there, like L'Oreal's doing an activation, they'll send a photographer.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because it's so important these days to be capturing the content. And also there's a huge financial investment from those brands that without a photographer there's no way for them to prove to the big dogs up in head office what they've actually done. So they're willing to invest. So there's a lot of work to be done at Splendor. There's a lot of money floating around.
Yeah, that's hectic. That's a lot. And so what time of year is Splendor usually?
Just the end of June.
End of June. Okay, so that'll be coming up relatively soon. So if you're going to Splendor in the Grass, look out for Pat Stevenson behind the camera, because it takes a very good one. And In regards to the different styles of photography, obviously we know that nightlife is your favorite. Is there a particular style, not that I know the photography lingo, but a certain type of picture in the nightlife scene? Like obviously Capture Charles is mostly portraits, as far as I know.
Yeah, he is. He's mainly people-based.
Mainly people-based. What's your favorite?
I like to do a mix of both performance and people. I really love what Captain Charles is doing. Like, I love innovation.
He's a friend of yours?
I've met him through the scene. I wouldn't say we're like best friends, but I've a huge amount of respect for his work.
Yeah.
He, in my opinion, is doing something really cool and not like copying what everyone else has done. And the amount of film that he's burning through. I don't know if anyone knows what he does. Look him up on Instagram, but he shoots just 35mm point and shoot film party photos. So that's incredible.
What does that mean?
So like you're shooting on a film camera. Like 35mm, you know,
not digital.
No, you have to go get it developed.
Old school.
Or he develops it himself.
Wow.
Which costs quite a lot. It's like $20 or $15 per roll. And then a roll of film costs the same sort of amount of money. And if he's doing 100, 200 photos per night, that really stacks up.
I remember my school that I went to in Bournemouth, where I'm from, photography was an option there, and I didn't do it, but some of my friends did, and we had the full dark room and everything, so I kind of got a little bit of exposure to it. But I guess it's pretty cool that in a high school that was offered. Back then I obviously didn't have an interest in it, but you must have a dark room, or is it whatever it is.
Well, it's tough with colour stuff. Black and white film is quite easy to develop in the dark room, but I did it at TAFE just out of curiosity, like 15 years ago. It was really fun. But to do colour, I don't know. He must have a lab that he either works out of or does himself. But you'll see, if you look at his photos, they look like nothing else. It's so unique.
They're very unique, yeah. He's got a very distinctive brand, and I saw he was over in Europe, and I've seen him in some places, and I'm like, that's so weird that this guy that I know, not that I know him at all, from Australia is now in that place. I've got like a weird, like a connection somehow with or something. It's pretty cool.
There's some really great female photographers out there at the moment as well. Like Lost Paradise, the past 2 years, I've been one, maybe in the minority of photographers. That's mainly female photographers.
Wow.
Like Ruby Boland is incredible. Gabrielle Clement is great. There's just like so many.
So much talent.
Yeah. Maria Boyages, so her account's also 4 Minutes to Midnight. She's like my go-to. If I'm out of town, I use her to shoot events and music stuff. She's fantastic. So girls are just kicking ass right now. And
Girl power.
Well, I don't know. It's like because guys have just sort of been, it's so male dominated that the girls have had to work twice as hard to get recognized. And so that's created this surge of like fantastic female
photographers. Well, that's good. That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
And with a brand like Lost Paradise and the army of photographers and Splendor in the Grass even, what's the process like for you? Because obviously you're so busy. When you're not shooting, you're editing. Do you actually have time to sit there and go through the album and know which of your pictures got selected to be shared?
We're not getting much sleep, photographers. Like we shoot all day and then they want the photos overnight. So we're trying to do a turnaround that night at the festival while everyone's out partying, and where they're just there hunched over behind our laptops, just like...
Because they post content as the festival's going on, right? So I didn't go to Lost Paradise this year, but every day I was getting live content available on social media. But then there's also someone from their side that's actually selecting which of the 10 that they share on their carousel that day and stuff. There's a lot of work into it. So are you across how many of your pictures get?
We never know. We'll give them a folder full of shots, and then it's up to their media team to pick out the best of the best. So like for Splendor, we'll be on site shooting 7, 8, 9 a.m. We're out in the festival grounds capturing that. So we'll do a midday drop where we edit the shots and send them the best, probably 20, 30 photos. And then there might be a 3 p.m. drop, a 5 p.m. drop, and then like maybe an 8 p.m. But I'm a bit opposed to that, because that means all the time that you're in there dropping the photos and editing, you're missing out on what's actually happening out there.
I see. So you could be missing the best moment.
Yeah. So I try to stress that to the media team. It's like, yes, I get it. You've got to have photos going up live, but the more time that you have us in here editing.
Do they bring you all in at the same time?
No, they try to sort of stagger
you. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I just prefer to shoot the whole day, and then I'll give you some...
Got to do what you love.
Unless there's something that I'm like frothing over that's in my camera, I'm like, I need to send this to you guys straight away.
And what does it feel like for you when has your picture ever made the main marketing campaign of like Lost Paradise or another festival?
Well, I know my shot of Jamiroquai at Harvest Rock got used quite extensively.
That must feel pretty good,
Yeah,
huh?
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And to see like on ABC News my name in credit, like under the photograph.
Yeah.
I sent it to my mum. I'm like, look,
Oh.
I did a thing.
And what did you do? What did you do before photography?
I worked in retail in
Okay.
clothing. Like I worked on Hayman Island in the Whitsundays selling swimsuits.
Okay, cool. So you basically fell into this, literally.
Yeah.
Fell through the front door of a club to
But
sneak
I've
your way
always
in.
worked in retail and things where I'm speaking to people. So I cut my teeth dealing with like angry customers, and so that's definitely carried through to photography where I'm not afraid to go and chat to people.
Yeah, right. And then, other than losing your camera, your $4,000 camera, what's been the worst or most stressful moment or incident?
I mean, I've broken a lot of gear on the job.
Have you ever lost loads of film or amazing content?
Yeah, I've accidentally like formatted a card, but after a job, I was like, oh my god, I've deleted it. But I've managed to sort of recover it partially.
So I was going to say, not only is that soul destroying for yourself, you actually have to break the news to the person.
Yeah, look, no, it doesn't matter how professional you are or how good you are at something. Every person in a creative field will have a hiccup. There's something will happen outside of your power, and you'll have to just deal with it. And it's how you can kind of bounce back from that, which is important. There's been a handful of times where I've just been like, oh no, I've done something fucked up. And then you have to sort of tell the client, try to be honest with them, but sometimes they don't need to know all the details.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They just need to know the what, not the why.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just how you deal with them and make sure that the client doesn't get too angry. But I've lost a few along the way, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Doing some my own fault, not being too drunk is probably at some events where I haven't taken enough photos. They're like, Pat, is that it? I was like,
Wow, not enough. I imagined that you'd be click, click, click. But I suppose also, like, it's quality over quantity, right?
Mm-hmm. There's probably a lot of photos, but none of what the brief actually described.
I see. And what's a brief like for, obviously without giving, no brand names or specifics, but what's a typical brief involve?
Like most festival briefs are about 3 or 4 pages long, and it's basically, if you're shooting for the festival, it's making sure you're covering all the brands and their involvement in the festival and nice clean shots that they can use to then promote.
Wow, so it's got quite a big commercial aspect to it.
Yeah, because that's the money makers. That's where
it comes in, isn't it? Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and then like artist stuff is important, but really those artist photos aren't selling the next year's lineup. Yeah, you're not going to use a shot of DMAs or whoever, Tame Impala, to push that next year. It's only going to be used in that.
I love the candid pictures of people going to festival. I actually can't believe I'm going to pitch tomorrow. I'm like, we're started talking about it, and I'm like actually about to get on a plane tomorrow, which is so exciting. But it's those candid ones where you can just see in one pic, like obviously, the most, I would say, well-known photography saying a picture says 1,000 words. Yeah. Like you just see so much joy and happiness in people. You can see not just the main subject, would you say, of the picture, but the people in the background, just the whole thing. It's pretty special.
Well, the way Lost Paradise brief us, their photo, if you look at their Instagram account, their photos are fantastic at those sort of images. They're like not necessarily posed, but it's someone who's in the front row singing, screaming at the artist who's performing on stage. You're like, wow, that person's.
And it means so much to the people that are in them too. Like, oh my God, Jazzy, look at this picture of you. Hopefully, not too munted or anything like that. But when you get a good picture like that, because it's a really strong memory. And usually, I obviously get my phone out and I take videos more to try and make this fucking reels and shit to be, they're good memories to look back on. They're fucking tedious to make, but they are pleasant memories to look back on. But I don't ever get any nice pictures, I'm always the one taking it. Most of my friends are guys, and I'm just like, so if I was to be caught in a moment like that, I would love it. It'd be super cool, Facebook profile picture. Not that anyone changes that anymore. But.
It's very rare to be, especially at a music festival where it's sweaty and stinky and blah, 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 to actually have that little moment where you're like, oh my God, I'm actually happy with how I look.
Yeah, I actually like that picture. Yeah, it's going to be 36 degrees at pitch on Saturday.
Where is that, Victoria? I've never been.
Victoria, it's in the, I don't know if it's it's Grampians.
Okay.
In a place called Moyston, I think. The bus from...
That name sounds disgusting.
I could be saying that completely wrong, but
Moyston.
The bus from Melbourne CBD takes about 2.5 hours.
Okay. 36. Geez.
36. There's been really bad risks of bushfires, so I'm knock wood. We're Yeah, so we're in the clear. I mean, they definitely would have had to call it off by now if
Yeah.
they were going to, so it must be deemed safe.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So you, any other festivals of note?
Like America, I've been to Coachella like 4 times.
Working?
Yeah, nope.
No.
Again, America immigration. No, not working at all. Been there as a tourist.
And taking some amazing pictures.
Yes, with my phone. Yeah, I've
Nice.
been a few times, and I've watched acts like Hayden James, Tame Impala, AC/DC, Paul McCartney, Alice in Wonderland, Peking Duck, and also Lollapalooza in Chicago, which I think is better than Coachella.
I have never heard of that, so I will
It's so
look
good.
at it from here on out.
Lollapalooza is amazing. It's like a bit of more of a spread into rock stuff than Coachella serves.
Yeah, do you have a particular genre of music that you shoot with, or just anything really?
I'll shoot anything, but
Yeah.
rock is way more fun. There's more elements. DJ stuff is great for lighting and pyro, but
Rock would make some really good pictures.
yeah, and
really
there's some
good
bands
pictures.
that really play it up. Like they'll jump off the drum riser and do the splits midair, and like it's just that's the dream shot.
Wow. And have you spent much time in Europe?
No.
No.
I was meant to go to Tomorrowland with Hot Tub Time Machine last year, I think, but that fell through.
I just saw he announced his new tour today.
Yeah.
Are you doing that?
I am doing. No, I'm doing a couple of shows at Randwick Racecourse with him, and I'm doing Singapore at the end of the month.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, he. No, I'm not doing any of those. Maybe I'm not sure. I have to check my emails. Maybe I am. But he's killed. The last show that I did with him was Hot Tub on the Harbour down at Miss McCoy's chair.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. I'd never been to see Hot Tub before. So for anyone who doesn't know, Hot Tub Time Machine, he basically goes in an era from, I don't know when it starts.
40s, 50s.
50s it starts from, and it's basically all of the bangers.
It's like every best song for every year, and it's visual. He mixes the songs with visuals as well.
Visuals, yeah. I was there, and Miss McCrory's chair, for reference, is the perfect view of the bridge and the Opera House together. So that at night, add fireworks, add good music, add good company.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I was like, this is really scenic. And I was really impressed with his set. Because I thought, like, it wasn't really be my thing before I went. I thought it was a bit corny.
Yeah.
But I went, it's fucking great.
That's what everyone says. They're like, I thought it was going to be cringe and corny. And then when I was there, it was the best night of my life.
Yeah, because by the time it gets to the current era, it's literally all the bangers that you love. Like, you'd expect to... hear like Earth, Wind and Fire September from the 70s, don't crucify me anyone. And then you've obviously got like Dom Dollar saving up right now, you know.
He mixes them all together.
And it's really quite clever.
He's got vinyl, Serato, and he mixes them. So it kind of there's scratching and stuff involved.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
His performance is huge.
Yeah, and he really interacts with the crowd and stuff. He's definitely a good showman for sure. So yeah, never in Europe, never as a
I've been to Ibiza, like just to sort of have a bit of a clubby week, but no.
So even on holiday?
I've been there brunch on holiday, but never for work.
Never for work, right? Would you like to?
Yeah.
Is it like a bucket list thing?
Well, we're going to do a wine machine festival. The wine machine was the first one to come along. Goes to all the different wineries around Australia. We're going to do one in the south of France, but that ended up cancelling. Yeah,
that's a shame. Talking of wineries, you did Grapevine, didn't you?
I was touring with Hayden James.
You told me with Hayden, yeah, because I think I might have been there, and then I saw that you were there afterwards.
So Grapevine's like the competitor to Wine Machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So is that a bit of a no-go for you, because you've got a relationship with the other guys?
Yeah, but these days I'm like, I don't care. Yeah.
Work is work.
It's all love, mate. Yeah, it's got to be done.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then, God, I have so many questions. So we've talked about where you came from. So in those years... When did you first go overseas with photography?
2009 was my first Coachella. So that would have probably been the first time. It was my first time in New York. I was just so blown away. New York and Tokyo, to me, are the two spots that inspire me the most.
Okay.
Like Los Angeles is okay. It's just so different than Sydney, and so much is happening. You can feel the energy. LA, I'm not huge on, but every time I go back to LA, I like it a little bit more.
I will never get the chance to like it a little bit more because I'm never going back there. Yeah, I did not vibe LA whatsoever.
Get it.
It was literally this time last year. We went to pitch, came home for 24 hours, flew to LA, spent 5 days there, then went to Miami for Miami Music Week.
Dude, Miami sucks too.
Oh, now there's a difference of opinion. I really like Miami. I had a
But
really,
I
really good
didn't go to
time.
the music thing though. I was just there. Like, there's people there are disgusting.
Well, maybe you should go to, on holiday to Miami Music Week at
Okay.
some point because it was
I'll do that
incredible.
and then I'll judge.
Yeah, okay. We'll come back for part 2 along with every other person that's come on here. So they're just so different. And what's the standout about? Obviously, New York is New York. I mean, it speaks for itself, right? But Japan, I don't know much about.
Tokyo is it's crazy. People are so different, so polite. There's like neon lights everywhere. This public transport's fantastic.
It's so futuristic. All I see on social media is like Japan has done it again. Japan has done it again. They're just so ahead of the game with like everything.
Oh, dude, they're so backwards. They don't have PayPass everywhere. They're getting a bit better, but like everything's a paper. I've never used cash and coins so much until I've been there.
So Japan is how weird that they can be so so smart yet so.
The public transport system still like you have to buy a ticket. You can't just tap on your Visa or your MasterCard or whatever. It's like in Australia, it's so easy. Just bang, just tap, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you have to buy a ticket, feed it into the system, then take the ticket, keep it in your pocket. I'm like, what? So old school.
That's so bizarre because I thought that they were so like futuristic and really technologically advanced. That's crazy.
That's one thing they're lacking.
Interesting. Yeah, food for thought.
And everything's wrapped in plastic. Plastic.
Oh, I don't like
plastic wrapped in plastic. Yeah, they've got to get away from that.
Yeah,
but apart from that, stunning. The people are so amazing and polite.
Good to know. I definitely have to add that to the list. I mean, I'm not sure when I'm going to have time for all of these holidays, but you never know. Maybe I'll get to go and work somewhere one day, doing something.
Just inherit billions of dollars.
Yeah, I'll go work my way into front of clubs and see where that takes me over the next 16 years. So, in regards to the rest of this year, we've obviously dropped a little bit potentially. Oh, we'll be working with Splendor again. Because is it hard for you in the sense of like, obviously, even though you're so well regarded in the industry and you always seem to be busy, do you ever have any hairy moments? Like, you've obviously got bills to pay like everyone else. Technically you are a freelancer regardless of your relationships. How far in advance do you have your schedule planned out?
I like kind of work day to day a lot of the time, but I like to have things locked in. Like if someone's coming to me, they're like, we might have something coming up, like just lock me in as soon as possible because those dates will get booked out. But it's really, it can be like, I can have the busiest month where I'm doing 3 gigs a day, 7 days a week. And then I'll have like 2 weeks where there's no work. Usually around January, February, it just dries up. And I'm like, oh my God, am I ever going to have a job again? Like, is this it? And then before I know it, I'm busy again. So.
And what's the furthest someone would book you out for something?
Like
is it kind of a no? Is it just a given for you now that you go to Splendor and you always keep that free?
That's always blocked off.
Yeah, okay.
But I've been like 10 months. I've had people lock me in for like weddings.
I was going to ask, do you ever do any what's the words like not the opposite of commercial, like personal kind of stuff?
Yeah, like I guess portraiture and stuff. Yeah. I do. I very rarely do weddings.
Okay.
I'm very picky on which weddings I shoot. They usually have to be friends of mine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if and when I ever get married one day, it will definitely be a very festival style wedding.
Yeah,
so 100% you will be the man for the job. But I suppose like there's different types of weddings, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone has a special day differently.
I love doing a lot of studio stuff. Dom Dollars photography. I've shot a lot of like on Spotify, you can see.
So Dom Dollars track list, or what's it called? Track IDs or something?
Yeah, he's press shots.
Press shots.
Yeah, so a guy called Peter Don has done a few of them as well, and I've done a few. Hayden James, done a few for him. But yeah, I like to usually work with smaller artists and sort of try to help them get their image through and see what they're doing.
Yeah, and get their iconic shot. Because, I mean, obviously, everything costs money and they have their shot that they're kind of known for, or is their brand shot, and I mean, they're not going to be changing it all the time. So I suppose if you can get a good one and it's going to last for a period of time, it's definitely, and it's good for you too, right? I mean, you've got your work is your advertising. It's kind of the beauty of it, you know. It's like you do your job and it gets advertised for you because other people use them. You know, it's quite unique in that sense.
Yeah, that stuff's it's a good challenge as well. Trying to take an image of how someone wants to be perceived and try to let their music kind of shine through an image.
Yeah, something that's usually portrayed by sound. That's an interesting point. And do you ever decline work? Is there anything that's just not for you?
Yeah, well, I'd let people know my rate, and they go, you know, unfortunately, we can't work with that. It's like, it's all good. I can recommend you some cheaper photographers.
Okay.
But you tend to get what you pay for.
But in terms of like, you don't want to do it?
Most of the time I will say yes. There's sometimes where I get offered like beauty jobs and stuff that is more suited for a female photographer. So that I will tend to like push that stuff onto
because you don't want to be powdering people's faces and stuff like that.
I don't mind. I love to shoot it, but I think it's not right for me to shoot it. I think it's a good space for. It's a woman's job. That sounds so bad. Get in that kitchen. No, not that. It's like I think a woman should be documenting that because they're more. Because
they get it.
Got skin.
Women's intuition.
Yeah. Like shooting like so much beauty product stuff. I'm like, I love it. I could shoot it, but I think you're better suited with this photographer.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah. And then, I have so many questions. Pull them out of my ears. Anything else from your story?
I'm working on a book. I don't know if I've told you about
that. No. You're the second person to tell me they're working on a book recently. So tell us about that.
Deep in pre-production, but I'm putting together 10 years of Sydney photography, especially around King's Cross. So I'm trying to tell the story of when it was in its heyday, when it was pumping, to when the lockout laws happened and everything sort of died down.
Using only your own photography?
Yes.
Wow, that's so cool.
Interviewing a lot of key people who came out of King's Cross, like Flight Facilities, who met in a club in King's Cross and now tour the world. Hayden James, a lot of Alice in Wonderland, all these other musicians who started in the Cross.
Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah. And then how much of your time is that taking up?
Well, COVID allowed me to have a good go at it. But
it's been going on since COVID.
Since before then. It's going to take probably another few years. But the thing is, like, I don't have to get it out this year. The longer away from that period, the better it's going to be because nostalgia.
Aging like a fine wine.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
But
that's exciting.
It's hard to go. I've got 1 million plus photos from that era.
1 million?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And everything's backed up, so I've got all copies of everything.
I was going to ask you, how many like hard drives SD card,
SD cards are the ones that come in the camera.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, but then the SD card goes from the camera to the computer. The backups for all my photography for the past 16 years, I put them on my computer and then they go into these towers of hard drives and then there's duplicates of those photos on those towers. So even if one of the hard drives die, which all hard drives do die, they'll be backed up and I can hot swap them.
What do you mean that eventually the hard drive dies?
There's anything with moving parts and it will break down.
Wow.
Over time. So
I have all my old pictures, like just from like the last 10 years or so. Not obviously now they're in the cloud, but the ones I had before that, they're on a hard drive. So you're recommending I get a second hard drive?
Yeah, try to have 2 copies of hard drives.
Wow, okay.
Because they will die.
That's good to know.
It's like, especially the physical spindle hard drives, the chunky ones, because it's just little motors in there and little needles, and if something sort of skips, it's done.
Okay, so anything important on the cloud or
cloud safe.
Yeah,
they back up.
They do it for us.
Yeah, cloud. Yeah. So over the past 15 years, all my photos that I have been taking, I export them in high resolution and I put them all up on Dropbox. So even if all my hard drives one day catch fire, at least they're.
How many do you have?
I've got 5 towers and they're about 20 terabytes each.
20 terabytes. I can't even comprehend that. And then what kind of iCloud plan are you on?
I don't use Apple iCloud stuff.
Okay.
I use Dropbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much do you pay for a plan?
It's $300 a year.
Oh wow, that's pretty good. I thought you were going to say like that much a month.
It's 2 terabytes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which is enough for the JPEGs.
Yeah.
The compressed JPEGs.
Interesting. So much to it. It's funny. I was saying to someone before, it's crazy how many different professions there are in the world and how each person who works in that profession just knows so much about that specific thing. Yeah. It's like there's just so much information about everything.
It's like you've got to be a bit of a nerd. You've really got to read up on it.
Yeah.
Care about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean,
musicians know so much about Ableton or programs or if you play keyboards, you know exactly about the brands.
You have to know everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
You have to focus on that one thing if you really want to excel in it.
And then you meet these people that are just freaks and have 5 different careers that are, all concurrent. And I'm like, how do you have the time to know so much about everything?
They're crazy. They must be autistic or something that is in their brain where they.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I mean, autistic people are just so intelligent. Yeah. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Frightening. And okay, cool. So we've covered a lot. Thank you for everything. So what did you want to touch a little bit more on the book?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on the book. It's going to still take me quite some time, but I've created a website for people to join on the waiting list. So when I do finally finish it, you can get an email. The website is www.gutterconfessions.com. So gutter as in, the gutter. and Confession. So that's like a working title.
Is there only going to be limited copies?
Yeah, I'm going to self-publish it. So I will start off with a very limited run of maybe like 100 and gauge
Sign them?
Yeah, and I'm doing a party, like a proper party to launch it, where I'll be printing up my favorite photos over the years and getting all my friends who are big DJs to perform.
Wow. Can I come?
Of course. Get on the waiting list and you can come to the party.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's the message out there. If you want to come to a cool party and get a cool ass book to show your grandchildren in years to come. I love what the city are doing with all the construction, the way they put the pictures on the hoarding of the buildings. Stuff, yeah, I think it's really cool because, I mean, there's such a fine line between developing towns and cities to keep up with technology and then just completely destroying them altogether. Otherwise, the whole world would look the same, right?
Yeah.
You look at these beautiful places, even like in Paddington, how it's all heritage now and pain in the arse for developers. But there's good reason for what they're doing, you know?
Yeah, well, they need to keep that momentum up once the building's finished, and still, like, Sydney needs to be doing more exhibitions and activate the city way more. Like, you go down to Melbourne, you're like, okay, this is a town that actually cares for their music and art scene, and in Sydney, it's just so sterile. It's getting a little bit better, but Sydney's got such a long way to go to catch up, and I really hope they do.
Have you ever considered moving to Melbourne?
No, I love Sydney too much.
Yeah. It's shit, but I love it.
Well, I guess like the weather's just so crap down there, and I'm not like a massive beach freak, but the fact that you can go and have a swim in these beautiful
in 6,000 different beaches. I mean, they're every corner you turn. Even now, I see people, friends of friends share stuff on Instagram. I'm like, where the fuck are they? I'm like, I've lived in Sydney for 6 years now, and I'm like, I've never been there before. It's crazy.
My whole life, there's so many beaches I still haven't been to.
Yeah, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds in Australia.
Yeah, I've got all my friends and family here as well. I'm in no need to move anywhere. Yeah, it's about happiness. You've got to be sure you're happy somewhere. Yeah,
cool. So you've got obviously some festivals coming up. You're working on the book. Do you have an ETA for it? No.
Yeah.
Just as it comes.
Ready when it's ready.
It's ready when it's ready. No, I like the attitude. Do it properly, right? Yeah. Don't rush it. Something, especially it's going to be hopefully iconic and something that's going to be part of your brand for years to come.
Well, as I'm working through my archives, I am leaking little parts,
little teasers.
Instagram. So,
are you going to create a different Instagram for that book?
No, I'll probably keep it all
together. Yeah, cool. Well, that's exciting. Well, any last words?
Follow me at Pat Stevenson.
Yeah, I'll tag you, all this crap. I'll try my best to make some reels. I'm not very good at it. Usually it's funny because usually people will send me videos and I'll try and merge that over what we've talked about, but you're a photography guy, so we'll have to see, what cool pictures.
I'll send you some photos that will definitely,
incorporate in and get some best bits.
If you go on my website, I've got a bunch of shots, but I'll send you some of my old school stuff so you can sort of see how far I've come and some of the craziest photos.
Yeah, I want to see the quality. I think you've probably always been great because I think you're a natural for it, but I would love to see the quality of the pictures that you have as your portfolio. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I hope you get some rest. So when are you working next? Tomorrow. Yeah. What kind of job is that?
Food shoot for a restaurant in the city.
Oh, very nice. Yes. Very nice. Yes. Well, I'm sure I'll be seeing you again very soon. And thank you so much for coming over here. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to sharing your story with the wider audience.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, my love.
Yes.